Well, we'll give it a few seconds. And all right, welcome. It is August 27th, 1999. No, 2019. And we are looking at today's news in EVE Online. There's been a couple things that have happened. One is the new application for your phone has come out from EVE Online. It's an official app. It is called EVE Portal 2019. And we'll take a look at that a little bit later. First, I want to talk to my friend Apollo428, who has started a new alliance called Reckless Contingency. RECON is their tag. And this is interesting because seeing a birth of an alliance is not usually this big. This has jumped from 0 to 1,500 accounts overnight. So, Apollo, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good, buddy. How you doing?
Good. And how did you do that? First, tell us your background, like where you were before, and then we can talk about the new alliance.
Okay, so I currently an NC dot player as well. I also was in charge of the bot militia during the whole drone wars. So basically, what I did is after NC and PL moved out to the drone lands, we basically took our militia with their permission and made our own alliance and joined PANFAM with it.
So this is then mostly your corporation or mostly your alliance?
It's
From before.
it's the alliance from before. These are the groups that were actually not renters inside of bot, that were actually there to help defend. They were formerly known before that as Bad Fellows before they had to merge into bot, but other than that, like we're pretty much the same group except without a few of the other old corporations.
Wild. I'm surprised so many people followed. Isn't it a risky proposition to say we're going to change what we're doing? Did you feel pressure to do this, or was it?
They were an independent alliance before merging into bot, and they really wanted to become an independent one after NCPL came out, because basically we were there to watch over the renters and make sure that they were taken care of. The assets that weren't supposed to be there were taken down, that kind of thing. With NCPL there, we were kind of left without a job. So rather than just fade into oblivion and just end up just becoming nothing, I decided to put them into a new alliance and try to make them an actual proper alliance again.
Wild. So, okay. So now, what are your plans for this? Like, you're no longer protecting renters. What are these guys going to do? Reckless contingency, proper
Well,
PvP or industrial base, both?
it's going to be a mix of both, because honestly, like, we still have that aspect of the mentality that they want to make money and everything, but they also want daily content. So it's always interesting. But we're actually full members of PanFam, so they actually get access to all the coalition fleets. They get access to the umbrella. They contribute to the umbrella, and we actually plan on going on deployments and stuff like that with PanFam. Like, we have what's that sig called? God, Alpha's gonna hate me.
Alpha Star? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's call them beans or something.
No, don't do that, because there are new beans. But what the hell is it? Partisans. So
Oh, yeah.
Partisans deployed. So like my guys went with them, but what's really hurting us is the standings issues that I'm having with Winterco, because it's hard to actually get a hold of anybody in Winterco.
Oh, yeah? What is going on there?
I don't know. Like, you message somebody for blues, and you don't get response for 2 weeks. It's great.
Sounds like absent management. Well,
Mm.
we'll talk about that at a different time. So right now you are what stage in the building of the alliance are you in now? Like how much work is there to do, and how much work did you do?
Well, luckily a lot of the work was done inside of bot. So We have our core groups already set up and everything. Now it's time to recruit. So we need to pick up more dudes as well. We want to increase all of our different types of ships. Obviously, the super cap is something that you want to increase all the time. And of course, getting them out of the whole "we're here to protect renter" mentality, because now they're like, "What's a deployment?"
Yeah, what's a deployment?
So we haven't deployed in 4 years. What are you talking about?
Yeah. All right, so I'm looking at your corporations here. You want to tell me about your corporations?
So we've got Fusion, which is our biggest member. They actually contribute the most to the fleet because they're fucking
At 516 members.
right, and they're pretty solid. We've got Blackwatch, which is mainly an industrial group, but everybody here knows they have to PvP. But Blackwatch is mainly an industrial group.
That's a
They're pretty good.
great name, Blackwatch Industrial Group. That
Yeah,
has
it was actually
384 members.
yes, sir. They actually just picked up one of the other corporations that didn't survive the
The transition?
so
You might need to hold your
actually
button down a little longer.
yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the transition. I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
So then we've got Caldari Deep Space Ventures, which is more of like an independent, like an indie-based group.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Recursive Action, they're a mix. They're pretty good. They've got a few FCs in their group that help out a lot. Those FCs can be counted on to get up at 3 in the morning, so that's always good.
Oh, Recursive Action! I like them. I know them. They have their own Discord. I guess you can be invited to it. It looks like they have a public section, but they've been around talking in stations, and I think one of the members in there is the very nice lady that threw the big party at Eve North. She organized Eve North.
Actually, she's actually the CEO of Unprotected Plex.
Oh, sorry. Okay, we'll get there. So she's a visitor with Recursive Action.
Right. I don't know if she has a tune in Recursive Action. I know they work closely together.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, good group, and I like that name a lot, Recursive Action.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Then we got StarTech, which is mainly an industrial group. Peanuts, which is again mainly an industrial group, but I want to emphasize again that they all know they have to actually get it. They're all skilled into flying ships to help defend things.
So peanuts, I guess, is the description of what? Their profits?
Yeah, pretty much.
Funny.
So then you've got Atlantis Kingdom, actually, which suffered a major loss during the drone wars, or with when goons came out.
Mm-hmm.
One of their directors had been with them for like almost 2 years, and it turned out to be a goon spy who then transferred their sodio and all their structures to goons during when tests or goons were invading the drone lands along with Unspoken and everything. So it really set them back a lot because they ended up getting kicked from the Alliance until they sorted their shit out. We had to destroy their structures. They lost a lot of money on that, and it sucked for them. But they're coming back, and they're doing good now. So
That was recently?
that was just before NCPL moved out. It was during when we were going on the offensive to Ethereum Reach to clear out on.
So I think Hyper Viper took credit for that, or
Yep, it was Hyper Viper. Yes, it was.
yeah.
And he's had a long-standing history with this group since before they became bad fellows and all that. I guess there was some sour feelings in there. I don't know what exactly happened, but it involved him being kicked from the group and so and so.
Well, that's the thing. Was he a spy? Did they not know that was him, or did they know that was him and he just did that to his former friends?
They didn't know it was him.
Okay.
So
That's a proper
when
spy.
he yeah, no, he properly did it. Like, and props to him because that took like 2 years to do.
Yeah.
But just like same time, it's like, bro, it was 2 years of your friendship, man. That's kind of shitty. But you do what you do.
Yeah, it is EVE Online. That's a part of it.
Yep. So they're coming back now. Now that they've, they're trying to recover from that. So, we've all been helping them recover. So hopefully it works.
Again, that's Atlas Kingdom.
Right. That was Atlas Kingdom.
54 members.
So then you've got Colonial Industries, which is actually my alt corp. I run that one. So we're a bunch of shitlords. So that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're terrible people. So we're just gonna push on from that one.
Yeah, let's just move on.
Yeah, we've got SG Ratty Totten, whatever, I can't pronounce their court
Is
name.
that German?
Something like that. The funny thing is none of them are German. But yeah, I don't know. But
They want some of that German cachet in EVE Online. Look out for these guys. They look German.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, they're cool dudes. They help out a lot in the alliance. They're actually PvP based and they do indie stuff, so it's pretty good.
Pretty big.
You know,
112 members there.
yeah. And a lot of our group does a lot of like our group wears a lot of hats. So like, you know, all these guys have like different roles in the alliance as well. Like their leadership does, and it really then we all come together to really make it pull together and make it work. But yeah, then now we've got unprotected Plex, which is Ivy's Corp.
Wait, whose corp is that?
That's Ivy's Corp.
That's oh, okay, hilarious. Unprotected Plex.
Yep. So they basically popped up. They picked up a bunch of guys that didn't survive the merge over as well. So that works out. So she provided a little home for them. We've got X99 Industries, which is again just specifically an industrial corp.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to pronounce the other one. It's like Skill Fidits or whatever. Those are legit German.
Skill deficits. I think it's skill deficit.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're legit Germans. They're pretty cool dudes.
Yeah, their tag is actually 0 SP, so they're skill deficit.
Oh, okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense then. Yeah. Then we got Divine Power Industries, which is a group that does PvP, and they, of course, do some normal.
And they have 50 members. That's pretty cool. Are they relatively new to nullsec, or are they low key?
They're low key because they actually have. Oh, never mind. I can't say that. But they have ties to and.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's really cool. So those are the corporations. Are you accepting corporations that apply, or only members that apply to your corporations that are already in there?
We're doing both. So like if you have a corporation that's a decent size, that's not just going to have like two guys in it. That and we'll generally accept you, but we have to do a background check and everything. But we're looking for people with corporations that are like 50 and higher. That have more than like 5 active dudes on the kill board. So like, I'm not going to accept somebody who comes up, hey man, I'm looking for an alliance. I have 3 guys. No, sorry, you got to merge into another corp, man. Can't do.
Hmm. All right.
It's about it's like we already have 15 corporations. I don't want another 15. I don't want another 30 corporations.
Yeah. Too much. So this is something you've done. You have experience doing this. What kinds of things do you normally deal with as an alliance executor?
Specifically for the startup, we've been dealing. The hardest part is getting everybody to blue everybody because a lot of people are like, "Who's this? Why are we bluing you? Like, why is there another new alliance?" And basically, it's about it's all about getting people access to fleets, content, stuff like that, and like that's the hardest part at the moment. I mean, we've been looking at where to deploy, that kind of thing. We're like, all right, well, let's deploy with allies since they already have the footwork done, and that's just going to be a pain in the ass to do it on our own at the moment. But so right now, like I said, we've actually deployed with partisans because that's like a coalition sig going on now from a horde. So we're having fun with that.
Cool. All right. Anything else you want to tell us about Reckless Contingency? Their tag is Recon. Great tag.
Just that Recon's going to be in Vegas and that we're recruiting.
Check that out. Vegas is coming. Vegas is coming. Okay, so that's Apollo 428, the executor of Reckless Contingency Recon. That is 1,500 members strong with 15 corporations. And they are a member of or allies to Northern Coalition and Pandemic Legion and Pandemic Horde.
Yes.
And you know a lot about, I'm going to go on a little bit more about you, but you know a lot about the situation that brought NC and PL to Melpace. Can you talk to us about that plan and what what was proposed? Like something. Tell us a little bit about the history of how this kind of came together in the drone lands.
So obviously, goons went to Delve and they had this great umbrella, and basically they were making ISK hand over fist. And it was a model that a lot of us really liked, but it was really hard to set up because NCPL were spread across the entire north. And then we had the renter empire out in drones. So it was really hard for them to actually switch out of that mentality. We've been pushing for it for a while. Fafford did it before me, and then Fafford got frustrated and left, and was some other nonsense. But it was something that nobody was really open to right away because, especially since they had all their assets in tribute, they didn't feel like moving them. It was just going to be expensive. It was just a waste of time. And then Goons kind of deleted the region for us, so it was very easy to get them to move over after that.
Yeah.
So, especially since we had the infrastructure already in place, it was just like, just come here and buy our shit, and there you go, you're done.
Ha-
So, like, it was good stuff.
So it was good timing. But how bad was that deletion? Because we never really got a full expression of how what was in tribute and what was lost. Do you know anything about that?
Um, Firsthand, no, I don't know much about what was actually lost ISK-wise. I mean, I know there was a few keep stars and really expensive Sodio, but as far as what was actually lost, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And if you look at that diversity now, this is where you see all the colors. Those are different alliance markers for, and it's up here in the north. I don't think you can see the mouse, but that's this area that has multicolors. A lot of little alliances that have jumped into those vacancies and are taking it over. There's still a little bit of Northern Coalition, but that's left over. I don't think there's a presence there anymore.
Um, our jump gates are still active over there, which means we can project there, which is fun, by the way.
Oh, really? So you go in there. Is that a new hunting ground?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
I mean, it's still a little far out of the way because our jump gates only bring you into like a quarter way through the region. You know, all you have to do is sneak one Titan through the gate with your fleet, and you're good.
Wild. Okay, and then you can see Northern Coalition moved further east into the drones, and there you have Pandemic Horde. Well, they were in Geminate. They moved over to Kalevala Expanse. That would be about the middle of this screen, and then you have NC sitting in the middle of the whole region, and that is in Melpace. Um, you advocated for Melpace. You like it there?
Oh, I absolutely love Malpace.
Isn't it supposed to be the worst territory in the game, or has it changed completely since that reputation was made?
So that reputation was made back when there was no loot. Basically, the drone loot was compounds that you refined into minerals.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot has changed. There's actually bounties on rats now. There's things that drop from rats. They have officer spawns. I mean, the only thing that separates them apart from everybody else is that we don't have like the racial titans that drop. So you'll go into like a belt or something like that in one of the others, like say the in tribute, and you can run into a racial titan like the Grissa's Titan. We don't have those. We have the sentient super carriers and sentient carriers. We don't have dreads. We don't have titans. So,
Mm-hmm.
but what's really nice about Malpus is that the way the drone lanes were built, and I don't know why it was built this way, but it was really good. The way the drone lanes was built was that all that space is pretty much folded on top of each other.
Mm.
So we went out there and we set up an umbrella ourselves, and by we I mean PanFam. So within the range from the current NCPL staging, we can hit 234 systems, which is a lot of systems. If you compare that to Delve, I don't exactly know how many Delve can hit, but it's like 90 or something like that. We've effectively doubled their size. They're doubled their range, and I mean that's huge. Just
Yeah.
think about all the systems, all the ice belts you can hit, all the ore belts you can hit, and just it's ridiculous.
So you have the potential to generate twice as much. Let's just say that the all things being the same, twice as much systems, twice as many systems. But the culture of the people who are developing those systems is completely different, isn't it? Like you need You need to have people who are willing to work the land, so to speak, instead
No,
of.
and absolutely. And what's happening right now is just that we have our crab fleet going from constellation to constellation, setting up those systems to put the upgrades in.
Mhm.
And as we're doing that, we're moving to new constellation to new constellation to new constellation. And the reason for that is because NC took over the iHubs. So we could actually leave bot. And with NC taking over the iHubs, you have to replace everything. So before then, everything was already fully fleshed out. But again, with us leaving bot, we had to actually, give up the iHubs.
I see. So, but you do have a lot of what look like neighbors. I see Triumvirate, the Skeleton Crew, Circle of Hell, Vindictive, um, Solaris, Tonium. That's what's the name? It's slipping from my mind. They were a part of
Slice.
Slice. Yes, they were a part of GOTG when it was called GOTG. Now it's called Dead Coalition, but Slice was a big part of that group. And so, tell me about these neighbors to this region. How friendly are you with them? Are they part of PANFAM?
So Slice and Try currently live in Ethereum Reach. They uh, they they and Horde actually protect the gate, protect LXQ gate, and they have their own systems, their own core constellations and stuff. And yes, we are absolutely blue with them. I do believe they are members of PanFam.
Hmm.
Skeleton Crew currently lives in Spire. They're stewarding Spire for us at the moment. I mean, ping. Hang on. No. Yeah. So like Skeleton Crew is currently stewarding Spire. They're taking care of all the loose ends that were left over. Spire was the last region we actually secured because Spire was just so far away from everything.
It was also
So
under attack, wasn't it?
yeah, it was very heavily. It was that was where Unspoken and everybody based their main attacks.
Hmm.
And being that Spire is actually really close to Great Wildlands, but if you look at that map, it's not. But if you go through the actual jump gates, they are the regular gates. They are. Um, the main systems Inspire they were attacking were only like 7 jumps from Great Wildlands, which is NPC 00. So that, of course, was the last place that we actually tried to secure it.
Oh, got it. All right. Tell me about Vindictive and Inner Circle of Hell. Not Inner Hell, but Circle of Hell.
Circle of Hell, actually, I don't know much about them. I know
Hmm.
when we were members of Bot, they actually asked us to unblue them because they were worried about being AWOXed, but I don't think it ever actually happened. But I don't know exactly what they're doing with their life. I don't even know who runs that group.
Yeah, I think I get them and Inner Hell confused, which is really funny because Inner Hell is a very potent wormhole group, and Circle of Hell, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I hope I'm not mistaken, they're kind of still a rental group of some sort, but I don't know.
As far as I believe, they're still a rental group, but I mean, I don't know off
Yeah.
the top of my head. Really, I'd have to ask.
And then up there at the top in Cobalt Edge, you still have Hard Knocks, who were kind of dominant in this area in 2017 and 18. What's going on with them?
They're literally the quietest people I've ever seen. I have not seen anything from them lately, except for the odd super feed here.
Yeah.
Like they still have their rental group up there, so I mean that is what it is. But like I know Deadco was pushing against their northern border through Tino into Cobalt Edge, and I know the Russians and Horde and everybody just resecured that spot for them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Hard Knocks is very much alive, so it isn't. And you see a little. It's interesting right up there in the between Cobalt Edge and I'll say Paragon Falls. You have a little slice of fraternity. What's that about?
So that used to be Pan Intergalactic Business Community stuff. That was the Skill U renters,
Hmm.
and then when Skill U disbanded, they most of them joined fraternity, and they basically brought their renter empire.
Oh, okay.
So I know there's some things going on with that. It's above my pay grade, so I don't actually know what's going on over there.
Hmm.
But I know they're still blue. We can't shoot them, and yeah.
Okay, so missing from this map, at least in a large swath, there's only a tiny little reference to Pandemic Legion. And that's way over here in the border of Vale and Geminate, it looks like. Or actually, it's probably Paragon Falls and Vale. So what's going on with Pandemic Legion? Are they a presence around?
Oh, absolutely. They live out of NSI with us. So it's just that they only took like one or two constellations, and NC did the rest.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all that was. It's nothing too crazy. But PL is absolutely around. They're absolutely dropping things every day on people with our crab fleet. So it's they're a big presence still.
All right, good. So who are the big players in general? Just to confirm that what we think we know, who are the big players in
The
this area?
major players in the area are always going to be Horde, NC, PL. Then the secondary players will be Slice, Try, Skeleton Crew, and Recon.
Recon is you. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now I don't see you guys having any space. Are you not going to have space? You're just going to live here?
No, we gave up space. We had our taste of defensive and toasting, and we said fuck.
That's enough of that.
Yeah,
Oh,
offensive and toasts only, buddy.
in a weird way, you remind me. Your group's position reminds me of not Brothers of Tangra, but Sons of Tangra, which were different. That was
Oh god.
yeah, circa 2008. They kind of patrolled and kept safe Fountain region, while Pandemic Legion, who owned it, went around on campaign. So you guys are, it appears you're kind of like a police force.
Yeah, we were definitely a police force in Mount and Bot. I don't know if we're going to continue the police force mantra in Recon. I think we're going to be more of let's have fun and deploy places instead of just sit home and hope for content to come to us.
Right. Well, good luck. Again, this is Apollo 428, the Executor of Reckless Contingency, a brand new alliance that's NCPL Horde related or allied. And they have about 1,500 members, and they are recruiting both corporations and players who are interested in nullsec. Thanks very much for this quick interview so we could kind of see what you're up to. But if you can, stick around because we want to talk to you about some of the things that you've seen in this blackout. First, I want to say hi to the guys that are in this room with me. I'm not going to introduce them all, but it's okay for them to speak up now if they want. I see Dirk McGurk, who's here. How you doing, Dirk?
What's up, man?
Hey, this is the morning coffee show. Get your coffee.
Dude, I have my coffee. I've got like 2 coffees here.
You sound different. Are you on a different mic?
Yeah, I'm on mobile. I'm traveling at the moment.
Oh, awesome. Well, if you're able to make this time slot, you should show up like all the time so we can do this thing together.
Oh, God.
Jesus.
Dirk used to do one of my favorite Eve shows with Wiggles, and they used to just every Sunday they would have their own show, and it would just be the two of them, and they would talk through both technology, because Wiggles had a lot to do with technology, and then Dirk would talk about EVE Online, and the both of them would talk about EVE Online. And that was always a very pleasant, relaxed experience, and I've always thought that was always an influence on me. Okay, looking at some of this stuff. Well, let's just get right into some of the aftermath of Blackout. Apollo, you were in Bot. Bot is still around, but it's mostly vacant now, right? What's Bot status?
It's actually got a bunch of people in it. It's still part of so Bot's basically been turned into like a community type thing for the NCPL guys. And we're actually recruiting for Bot as well. If you want to be part of the community, you can definitely look up Bot the Bot Alliance. Definitely has all the information on the description. But basically, they are a different type of renters now. We moved away from the model of rental getting one system per group, and we've actually adopted the free range model. You join, you pay a fee to be a part of the group, and then you get access to the super umbrella, and then you can go out, mine, do whatever.
So you pay for security around you, so that you don't have to do that all on your own. You can do the other stuff that you want to do.
Right.
Okay. So Bot Brothers of Tangra are still around, and they basically live in the drone regions, and you can pay some money to live there and to build your own things there and that kind of stuff. So how is it in this new environment without local and, with the coming changes too? What do you think is going to happen to this lifestyle?
Um, I don't think the lifestyle is going to change too terribly much. Yeah, obviously it's going to be a little bit more difficult than just signing with your Oracle and calling a day. But we've been discussing different ways that you can get around it. I can tell you we're definitely stocking recons like crazy right now.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. One thing bot's great at, and even recon for that matter, one thing that they're great at is the industrial output is just ridiculous. We asked for recons, 1,000 recon.
Yeah. I think the North has always been, they're no longer the North. What should we call them now? They call them PanFam, I guess.
PandaFam. PandaFam.
PandaFam. Okay. So there's some truth to Winter Coalition or Fraternity, the Panda, the Great Panda, and PanFam.
I have a picture for this. Hang on.
Let's see if I can get it up there. So is that a thing, or is that just a rumor?
I mean, we made pictures, so it's gonna.
So it's official. We made a cartoon, so it's official.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely going to be something that's going to appear at Vegas. I'm telling you that right now.
How many of you guys are going to Vegas?
I don't know. NC going. Recon's got a bunch of people going. I'm sure Horde's got a bunch.
Oh, so surprised at how big NC's showing was last year or the year before. Last year, I think.
I think we peaked last year. We're definitely going to try to go, larger this year, but we'll see what happens. I'm actually running our swag. I'm actually running our swag campaign.
How many people was that? 50 or so?
We had 75 confirmed at the Alliance. Right.
Wow, 75. That is huge. Yeah, I don't. What's interesting about that is that's 75 people, but go 3 years back before Lady Scarlet went, because I think she and I went on the first year. And it's funny, I think I convinced her to go. I'm not sure. I think she wanted to go, and she'd gone before long ago, but she hadn't gone back in a long, long time. And I think I convinced her to go. And she's such a magnetic personality that over like a period of 3 years, she built it from, what was it, like 6 or 7 NC guys to 75. That tells you something.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we're actively pushing to get more and more people to go. So I mean, we're hoping for a good turnout again.
Yeah.
I know we've got a dinner planned, and it's shaping up to be pretty good so far.
I haven't actually made arrangements yet because I wasn't sure.
You need to do that ASAP because we're almost out of space.
Uh-oh. Right, the dinner? How big is it going to be?
We're shooting for minimum 4.
Minimum 4D?
Yeah, minimum of 40.
40, okay. Oh, yeah. Well, I'll think about it. I'm not decided that I'm going yet, but it's I always think I'm not going, and then I start getting excited with everybody, and then I just go. And that's happened for a few years. And
real quick, check DM.
Okay, I will. I had a great time talking with you at Vegas, actually. You're hilarious. Oh, I've seen this. Yes, let me see if I can put that on screen here.
Yes, it was put on Reddit.
Dirk.
Yo.
Vegas.
Yeah, I'm going, man.
You are, right?
I wasn't going to, but I made a kind of, it's semi late for me because I'm usually like, pushing the button right as it clicks. But I wasn't going to go this year, and then decided that I was. And now Drayden's going, so we got the whole crew going again, and we're probably gonna, I don't know, get wrecked.
Derek, you got me drunk poolside last year at like 9 o'clock in the morning.
That's the legit plan again this year. I mean, quite honestly, if I see the inside of the Eve event for anything other than picking up my my T-shirt, I'll be shocked. But yeah, the Cabana Star will be rolling again.
All right, look forward to it.
Cabana Star. Yeah, that was nice, but I didn't spend much time there. I just visited and looked like people were baking in the sun. I actually have decided to do it the opposite of what Dirk does. I don't actually party very much, so I'm hanging out with like Noisy Gamer and Wilhelm, and we take it seriously. We sit there and listen to everybody's player presentations, and then we take notes. And I really enjoy it as an actual convention where you're trying to pick up information about the game, which is ridiculous, right? Like,
No, I mean, look, I used to do that too, but but I think what I found with eVegas, eVegas is so much more about the other people and things going on, than yeah. Whereas, okay, in my understanding, I haven't been to FanFest, right? But like my understanding of FanFest is, it's really about the event taking place at the Harpa and whatnot, and then you have these other things sort of afterwards, right? Whereas eVegas is kind of just this, man, social activity could be taking place at any moment, across multiple venues and things like that, to where it's like, going there to meet and be with the players just became for me sort of the bigger attraction. The other information I can
You cut out there, Dirk.
the other information I can get in so many other ways now, that it's kind of like, okay, that's secondary to kind of like, meeting and getting to know so many other players that I've gotten to know.
Yeah, it's a pretext to socializing with other nerds. Us nerds, we need some kind of formal reason to actually go outside and talk to each other.
that's Zenuria.
Yeah.
And you've gone for the last few years. I think I've seen you there at least 2 years.
I've gone to a total of 2 eVegases.
Really? So I saw you there both times.
You see, here's the thing. Like certain people like Dirk will say, "Oh, I saw Zenuria at this eVegas," and like people will be like, "No, Zenuria wasn't there that year," and Dirk will be like, "No, it was totally. I saw him. He was."
Zenuria sightings.
No, I mean, I think the only one that, I don't know, maybe 2015 or something like that. I think the other time you came is when Goons were down at Cosmo, or kind of like, doing a sort of a. Well, I'm sorry, no. And then last year I saw you at the Imperium dinner. But yeah, I mean,
I remember that.
the first time I met you was like 2015.
You had a drink in each hand. They were both overflowing. I think the drink was called the Commissar, and they were like boat anchors, and you looked like you were gonna like lean over and fall onto me, because the drinks were like these huge, ginormous cups of alcohol, and you had 2 of.
They're like the stakes in Fred Flintstones when they put them on the car and the car gets heavy.
No, that's exactly. Oh my God, that is exactly what it was like. I kept stepping back because I had my $500 shoes on. I was like trying to like, oh my God, is he gonna fall over? Is he gonna spill on me? What's gonna happen?
The shoes.
$500 shoes. Wow.
The nightclub that they're having the party at this time is actually let's just say the color scheme and the aesthetic matches my outfit perfect.
All right. I don't want to talk too much about eVegas because not everybody is going to it. And it is
That's
very
more of a reason to talk about it.
It is very, yes, true, but it's not because they don't want to. It's because it's very expensive to go there.
Oh yeah, Cosmo was ridiculous. Like it was like $3,000 for my room, just like with nothing else included.
Right, and that's not easy, and taking the time away from family and work isn't easy, and that sort of stuff. So I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I will probably go and see some friends there, see some NC friends, see some Imperium friends, see some player friends, and hang out with Dirk by the pool.
Dirk, read stream chat.
Oh, I don't have that open at the moment. I apologize.
So one of the guys says, my girlfriend is watching with me at the moment. She turns to me and goes, I would totally get drunk.
Get drunk with Dirk?
Yep.
Yeah, he has that effect. He makes it all.
You don't even have to drink. You just need to be in like proximity to him, and you get contact drunk.
This is
contact drunk.
This isn't even just for eVegas, but you can go to Eve Northeast, I think, where they have camping and stuff like that. But I consider Dirk to be like kind of the super umbrella of partying. Like he creates a space where it's okay to do terrible things because whatever you do is going to be overshadowed by what he does.
Wow.
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 I'm just kidding. No, he's just a big guy. He's very.
It's just about the partying and the social, and the socializing and things like that. And quite honestly, look, with as far as Vegas is concerned, right? I mean, this began as a goon inspired event years ago, and it was about the social aspect, and the Eve side of it grew into it. There's a lot there to do for for all kinds of people. But if you can't get to a Vegas, I would highly recommend going to one of the other types of events. I mean, this year is starting to get over with in terms of the multiple invasion tour events and things like that. But I mean, Toronto was a blast. I mean, some of these other places, look like they would have been a great time as well. But even smaller events, where they're picking up 20 and 30 people and stuff like that in a localized area. It's kind of cool just to go and hang out and just talk with other players from around the way.
Yeah. Well, if you can make it, it's worth the fun. I've been amazed at some of the things that some players will be able to do. And we had an industrialist from PL fly from one side of the United States to San Diego to the other side, just to hang out with us while we watched the Alliance tournament. And that was amazing to me. But he flies so much, for him it was like a car ride. But yeah, and then I've seen people from, I think it was Denmark, flew into Vegas or Vegas for a different reason. Actually flew into Los Angeles for a different reason, but was close enough to go and spend one day at Vegas. So he drove up, spent time in Vegas, and then drove back to Los Angeles to finish his conference. Thought that was pretty funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
I had one of
go ahead.
No, you're fine.
Well, again, if you can make it. Back to EVE Online. There's we're gonna talk about this, but we're gonna do it tomorrow, or I can do a proper demonstration of EVE Portal, the new app. We'll do that tomorrow around this same time. I want to finish up by asking this question to Apollo, and other people can chime in. We will only talk a few more minutes, and that is blackout. How has it affected your region?
That's me.
Mm-hmm.
Blackout, it's kind of affected numbers in the region, but I mean, like with us, like our region was so in flux with NC and PL moving in versus bot leaving. Well, some of the bot members leaving over blackout, so it was really hard to gauge. But honestly, I think everybody will be. I think at least I'll be really surprised at the MER next month when it comes out for August.
Mm-hmm. We expect it to go down, right?
Oh hell no! We expect it to go up for Malpus.
Oh, you have high hopes. We're predicting
with the amount of mining we've been doing. Oh my god!
Well, okay, so you're able to mine in this blackout because you still have security for people that get into trouble because you can still jump to them. But in September, we are going to see that change. And again, you said you've adapted by. And the way it's going to change is the sinusoidal fields that allow you to jump in to save people will be restricted to only 2 types of ships, basically.
Right. And honestly, it's the only thing that's going to hurt is the little players, honestly, because right now we've I can't speak for goons, but I'm sitting here going, okay, well, I already have recon pilots, or if I don't have recon pilots, guess what? They've been doing this skill bullshit for like the past month, and they're giving away skill points so much. It's like it's going to take all. It's literally going to just inject all those into Sino 5 and recons. So I mean, it literally doesn't change much. Yeah, it requires you to take one Oracle off the field, put one of these recons cloaked on the grid, or whatever. But I mean, like we have ideas. I'm sure goons have ideas. I'm sure Test have ideas, and we'll see which one works the best. But honestly, it's going to hurt the little guy more than it's going to hurt any of the big guys at all. Might
be all the same idea, the one idea.
It probably is, or a variation of the same idea. It's not going to hurt the big groups at all. Like you'll see a little bit in the beginning, but after it starts fleshing itself out, it's literally going to just be business.
Oh, so what's the idea?
In this case, though, does it really affect the small guy more? Because it's still one Sino for them.
That is.
It's not like it affects the super cap umbrella or the super caps it will jump on.
That is wormholer a tin edister. I think.
Yeah, the only thing this does is it just takes Sinos away from the capitals, which is fine. You can still insta-pop the Sino ships if you have enough on grid to do it. But if that's what's going to happen. Sorry to say my mic, but you have the mentality of that's what's going to happen. You already know how to get around that. Like you're sitting there planning to get around that, and it's like, okay, well, this is all we have to do. It's like requires 2 extra ships. Done.
It does make moving camps around a lot more annoying.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw the update they did. The cap part, yes, that's annoying, but they actually removed the ability to jump freighters to the covert Sinos, and that they're actually putting on an industrial type Sino that jump freighters can.
That last voice was Teddy, also a wormholer.
Here, I'll post the screenshot that I took of the forums in public.
I think that also replaces their like Sino visual thing as well.
Right.
Okay, so what you're saying, just to be clear, the overview of it is that, yeah, it hurts us, but we're going to adapt. We're going to adapt a lot better than smaller groups that have less resources.
Exactly, and it's not even the resources. Your players are the resources at that point. It's like, guys, I need a Sino to be on grid with these oracles. Okay, or somebody's just going to say, all right, well, I'll log in an account. Like it's not going to hurt. It's going to foster people grouping up more, but it's really just going to hurt the little guys. I think it'll be good in the beginning for the hunters, but I think at the end the hunters are just going to end up getting.
You cut out getting what?
Oh, getting counter dropped. I'm sorry. It's not anything that's going to change. They're just going to keep getting counter dropped because we've already adapted to it without it even taking.
Well, I think, you guys being able to reach you guys to protect them seems to be one of the issues that Blackout has complicated. The other issue was catching them as they escape. So a raiding party will come in, disrupt a mining operation that's going on, kill people or not. The protection jumps in, and it used to be that on the way out, these groups only had 1 or 2 different ways out, and so they would get attacked and killed on their way out. And that was a real factor in deciding if you even wanted to go in the first place. But now getaways seem to be a lot easier than they used to be.
Right. I'll give you a for instance on that one. So last night, I got a ping from the Horde server that friendly caps were tackled. Everybody getting fleet. So I messaged the FC. I'm like, where's your caps tackled? I'll get my guys to join up and we'll see what happens. Like fucking.
Sorry, your mic cut out.
This guy's not cooperating. He doesn't have he doesn't tell anybody he's got a Sino. Doesn't tell anybody that he's got a that there's no inhib on grid. Doesn't tell us anything, and then dies. So meanwhile, the Horde fleet's on the in gate waiting to catch these guys, and they disappeared. We didn't know where they went. And come to find out, there was a wormhole in system they disappeared through that nobody knew about.
Yeah. Well, it used to be that was a way of getting out if you had a wormhole to get out, but now you would never know if they actually escaped or if they're just sitting in your system quietly. It's interesting.
Right, and that's what we thought. We thought they were still in system, so we're like, all right, we're all perched up with the gate camp, ready to go. And then they started somebody with probes went in. And we're like, no.
Yeah, boy, you could wait a long time. They went out the back door. Well, anyway, it's interesting, and the Sino change is going to complicate things a bit more. That's why I thought, and getting back to the point of this, that the umbrella for the big mining ops was going to become even harder to sustain in the new environment. But you don't think so? You think you'll be all right?
Yeah, everybody's going to be fine.
I think it is going to be funny, though. I feel like the recons are going to be kind of a consolation prize. You tried to tackle somebody. Yeah, sure, they got the Sino lit and the fleet in, but you killed the recon on the way out. Take your consolation prize and leave.
I wanted to ask, what's the Amarian recon? Anyone?
That would
Isn't
be
it the Pilgrim?
Pilgrim and
The Curse.
Curse, right? Yes. Okay. So I was thinking back to the Dominion. Was it the Dominion? The Dominion trailer. Do you guys remember that one? And the Dominion trailer is a battle, and it shows the escalation theory, basically, where you have one group attacking a structure, and then a big group comes in and counters it, and that group gets countered by allies of the first group, and then ultimately the Titans come in and just wreck the place. And I think the thing that lights the Sino was a curse, but I don't know if it was a cruiser. It was definitely the curse body shape, but I don't know if it was the curse or the T1 version of it. The arbitrator, I think it is. It's worth looking at.
It's definitely the hull. I'm looking at it now. I don't think it's enough detail to tell.
They don't say kill the curse. They say kill that Sino, right? Or something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, I was just thinking like, oh no, that's going to invalidate the ability that the realism in that trailer. But if it's the curse, or if you can't tell, then it totally still works.
It is. It's not the curse. It's the Pilgrim.
It's the Pilgrim. Does it have the arbitrator body style too? I didn't realize.
Yeah. Because they say stealth, recon, decloaking, and I'm pretty sure that can only be the Pilgrim. Because I mean, the curse doesn't even get a cloak.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
Well, it doesn't get a Coppertop's cloak.
Oh, thank you, Commander A's, for subscribing. Appreciate it very much. He's a friend of the show. All right, good. So the Dominion trailer still works. And my theory...
The friend of the show.
My theory... Isn't that what they say? I don't know. He's a friend of ours. We say the show because it's not our thing.
He's a friend of ours.
He's a buddy. And he's a subscriber. Thank you for the subscription. Again, that's Commander A's. But I was thinking that part of Rise's decision-making was, yeah, it's got to be recon. That way the Dominion trailer still works. Could be wrong.
Well, there's so many things about the Dominion trailer that don't work anymore. But I mean, hey.
That's true. Well, I'm trying to think. Yeah. No, I think now the faction, because they never destroy the structure, do they? It never shows the structure being destroyed, just a carrier being destroyed over the structure.
Where? On Dominion?
Yeah, the Dominion trailer. Yeah.
I thought they doomsdayed the structure.
They do doomsday it, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
they not only doomsday, they double doomsday that motherfucker. Because one wasn't enough.
I love that. No, but that can happen now, right? You can lance a structure. You can have two avatars lancing a structure, and if it's a faction fortizar, it can be destroyed.
And that's fair, but I want to see the explosion, like, on that one after two doomsdays.
These are clearly single target doomsdays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, great trailer. Check it out. If you haven't seen old EVE trailers, they are super exciting. That's what CCP used to get us pumped up for another 6 months. It's kind of like Hilmar was saying, new toy. And so you put your quarters in the machine, for the next 6 months. And then it's, 6 months later, it's new toy. All right, Apollo, thanks, man. And you were the guest on the show, and you gave out subs. Very generous.
I don't like being one-upped.
That's right. Actually, when Apollo gets into a war with a different
Hoffman.
Yeah, Hoffman, amazing. Then it just they go back and forth, and it just balloons up into a bunch of money for Twitch. We get half of it too.
Oh, well, that's gay.
Or a percentage or something. Yeah, man, but it's great. It's unbelievable how much that adds up, and it's allowed us to do a lot of things. Actually, one of our guys is going to EVE Vegas. And we're contributing to that effort. So that's pretty
cool. Very nice.
Yeah. And we're going to, we're going to have some swag finally, and we'll be able to start distributing that probably in person at EVE Vegas.
Are you doing an I'm friends with Matterall sticker again so I can stick it on the ladies?
Oh, that's right. It was you, wasn't it? Was that you?
Yeah.
You made me a legend. Like, I wasn't a legend before that, but now I'm a legend because there's all these Las Vegas dancing girls. That's a nice way to put it. And they have stickers saying, I'm friends with Matterall. And so all of a sudden, I think it was like the second night after that happened, all these guys were coming up to me saying like, hey man, are you Matterall?
Jesus.
Like, yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm getting a lot more people approaching me, and it was because of you.
Lady Scarlet yelled at me.
Yeah.
I went through so many stickers that night. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, that was actually funny. Lady Scarlet made those stickers. I had no idea that was being done until I got to Vegas and saw them everywhere. Well, all right, that wraps up another Today in EVE Online. We didn't cover the headlines except that the new application on mobile is out for EVE Online. It's called EVE Portal 2019. So check that out. There is something in Talking Stations Discord in links. I think you can find a way of getting that application if you want it. I'm going to test it out tonight and show you guys what it looks like tomorrow. For today, I want to thank Apollo428 for coming here and telling us about RECON, his new alliance that is PANFAM, or actually PANDAFAM aligned, and they are living in drone regions. Okay, everybody, thanks very much. That's all we have today. We will see you tomorrow.